Hello, it's Stampin' Nut, Amy Rich, with the second in my series of the 12 Projects of Christmas 2020. And as you can see here, I am going to be using the Plaid Tidings suite of products. All of the products, in fact. I've got the Celebration Tidings bundle, which includes the stamp set and the dies. I've also got the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper, as well as this beautiful embroidered ribbon. You can find this suite of products on page 57 of the August to December mini catalog. You can see all 4 of the products there, and with one easy order number, you can get the whole suite for just $65.25. Not a bad deal. I would like to start by doing some stamping, and I've already used the smallest label to cut out a Whisper White label that we're going to stamp today, using some shaded spruce and cherry cobbler ink, which matches our Designer Series paper. So here's the label. We're going to start with the shaded spruce and the Merry Christmas that comes in the stamp set. So we're going to ink that up and stamp that closer to the top than the bottom. And then we'll take the cherry cobbler ink and one of the swirly stamps in the set, and that's just going to get stamped right below that, so that we've got a cute little label for our project. Today I am excited that we're going to decorate one of our tins from the August to December mini catalog. And we're going to start with a circle that I have already cut out from the Layering Circles dies. I used the largest one, and it's the perfect size to fit right into that space there. So I'm going to use some adhesive to adhere that to the tin, just like this. It's okay sometimes to peek into your gift, but we're going to cover that up this time. Then we're going to take a piece of that beautiful embroidered ribbon, and we're just going to wrap that around the tin and tie that in a bow. And it's hard because it's round. It wants to slide around a little, but it'll behave if I tell it to. Then we'll just slide that over to one side. And then we are going to simply take that label that we made and add dimensionals to the back. I love these tins, and just think of all the goodies you could put inside. Creative juices are flowing. I can hear them. So there's our little tin, but now wouldn't it be fun to have a little box to put that tin in? Well, Corinne Dillette, and I don't know if that's for sure how to pronounce her name, but she is a demonstrator from Germany, came up with an adorable box in which to put our tin. So I'm going to make that with you today as well. All right, I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and for this box, and I am actually going to link Corinne's video below, because, or in the description of this video, because she does such a beautiful job of explaining all of the details and how to put the box together. I'm going to run you through it and then send you to her to get it all right, to get all the details. So I've got actually 2 pieces of cherry cobbler cardstock that measure 6 5/8 by 7 1/4. So that I'm going to put the 7 1/4 inch part up across the top of my trimmer, and you can certainly use a simply scored tool for this as well. And I am going to do some scoring now at 2 1/4, 4 1/2, and 6 3/4. And then I'm going to turn it in the other direction and score it at 2 3/8 and 4 1/4. So keep in mind, you're going to do 2 of those. And I have already done the other one, so I won't bore you with that. Then we're going to start trimming parts of our piece of cardstock here. So one thing that I'm going to do is when I cut up into these sections, I'm just going to cut I say I cut the scoring line all the way off. Scoring lines do have a little bit of a little bit of width to them. So we're just going to cut that so that it's got just the slightest little V in the cut. So you're going to cut that scoring line right off. And then when you get to the end or the corner, you want to go in just a little bit so that when you go in on the other side, you're going to do the same thing. And then you'll cut that little section out. So we're going to do that all the way around. Okay, then when we get to the ends over here, we're going to see where those folds are. And then we're going to cut in just a teensy bit into, at an angle, into that other cut. So you can see that now this is angled, and the box, it'll help the box go together a little bit more smoothly. Okay, then let's bring the other one in, and we're going to use tear and tape here on this little piece so that we can attach the two together. So we'll just add a piece of the tear and tape, peel off the back, and adhere it together. And again, I just want to say Karen does a fabulous job on her video, so I'm going to send you there also. And then we're just going to fold all of these so that we've got that part kind of figured out. And what I should have done too at the same time is I'm going to put some tear and tape on the other end as well. So I'll flip that back and put some tear and tape on here. Okay, now we're going to decorate some of these panels. For the taller panels at the top, we're going to use some of our designer series paper that measures 2 by 2 1/8. So we'll start with those. Just put adhesive on, and then they go right here and they layer perfectly. And those are Corinne's beautiful measurements. Thank you to her for this amazing, amazing project. My plaids don't match, but hey, it's okay. All right, now for this piece here, I'm actually going to use a shorter one, and I'll show you why. This one is let me measure it so I don't say wrong, 1 3/4 by 2. And that's going to go right here, like so. And the last one goes up here. All right, now for the next pieces, for along the inside, I chose a variety. I want to have a little fun with another plaid in there. And these are cut 1 5/8 by 2 inches. So I'm going to start with my more brown plaid here, and then I'm going to switch to my cherry cobbler plaid. And as you can see, there are some cute patterns on the back too. I love this designer series paper so much. So I'm just going to go back and forth. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for a minute, because one other thing you will want to do, which I should have done already before I put my ribbon on the other one, is to trace around the bottom of your tin. And you'll need 2 circles this size. So we're just going to use that tin to help us get the right size. And then you're going to cut this out using your snips. So now we've got our circles and our box, And there's two more things we have to do before putting this together. Okay, so we have to make a closure for this. Well, we don't have to, but we want to. So we're going to use this panel over here, and we're going to get out our Label Me Fancy punch, and we're going to find the center of this panel. So this panel measures approximately 2 1/4. So 1 1/8 would be the center. So we're going to measure that right there. And then we're going to stick our, just this little slit punch right here in where that center is, and go up and find the designer series paper, but make sure not to put your cardstock out here, or that will cut off as well. So just put your cardstock up to that so that you can barely feel that cardstock right there, and then make a punch. And then what happens is you've created this little slit here that is approximately centered because I made that little line. All right, then we're going to go over to this one, and we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to measure the center, which is about 1 1/8. And then actually we're going to go 1/4 inch on either side of that. So 1/4 inch would be 2/8. So we're going to mark that. And then we're going to go 2/8 this way and mark that. So then we've got our 3 little markings here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut in on those outer markings up to about where we'd want the border of our designer series paper. Then we're going to come in here and freehand cut this so that it cuts the border there and cuts that little corner off. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Cut that section off so that it leaves a little notch. And you can certainly go back and erase those little markings you made if you wish. Now our box is ready to go together. All right, so we're going to fold this part over, remove the tear and tape, and then fold this part so it matches, the scoring lines all match up, and burnish that. And then we're going to pop this down and start folding our sides in. So what we're creating is this really cool hexagon box. All right, so now we want it to be the right fit, correct? So what we want to do, I'm going to fold these back. And what we want is for our cardstock flaps to line up on the inside. And then what we're going to do is take one of our circles and put plenty of Tombow multi-purpose adhesive or glue on there. Oops, take it out for a little spin. And then we're going to lay that inside and then make sure that that adheres nicely to the bottom of the box. Okay. Then we'll go back out here and we'll kind of do the same thing. Now I'm going to flip these around a little bit. And then remember, we want them to line up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, and you can play, you'll have to play with it a little bit. It's a little tricky to make sure the hexagon is all perfect. But once you get that adhered, remember, and this glue is a little bit forgiving, so you'll be able to shift and move so that all of the pieces line up the way you want it to. And of course, liquid glue takes a little bit extra time to adhere, so I just kind of hold it down. And then of course we're going to go back with our other circle, and we're going to do the same thing on the outside. That way we've got it all just meshing together. And then of course, if you're a little worried about the fit, just plop your tin in there and you'll see it's just fine and dandy. And we actually are going to plop our Merry Christmas tin in here. Then we're going to fold our flaps. And then this one, remember, has the little tab that fits in the slot. Ah! Are you screeching and squealing like I am? Corinne Dillette, you are a genius. I love this so much. All right, now one more thing I'm going to do is just add some of the ribbon to the top. I'm going to create a bow, and I'm going to take, this is about 42 inches in length, and I'm going to spread my 4 fingers a little bit, and then I'm just going to wrap this ribbon around. Beautiful, perfect. Then we're going to squish so that the 2 ends are hanging out, and then we'll take one shorter piece then, about 6 inches probably. You can cut it longer if you're worried about making sure it's long enough. And then we're going to tie that tight. And then you can work on fluffing up the bow and separating the loops a little bit. And then I'm just going to use several, you could do a couple of things. You could use hot glue if you prefer. I'm just going to use several of my mini glue dots, and I'm actually just going to put them, I'd like to put them on the slit side of my cover so that I don't have to worry about slipping the ribbon into the slot, or slipping the tab into the slot while the ribbon is attached to this side. So just a little tip for you. So I've got 3 glue dots there, and I'm going to open this up now so I can get my fingers behind. And then we'll just adhere that and close that back up again. And you can see how adorable that box is. So now I'm thinking you gotta have the tins. You gotta have the plaid tidings suite. I think it's just adorable. And you gotta make these because they are so fun, and they're really not that difficult to do. So I want to thank you for watching project number 2 today. I hope you're enjoying these 12 projects of Christmas, all 2 of them so far. Typically they will be posted on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Thank you.